Welcome to the next episode of Waterpark Rangers Let's Play Wind Waker. Last episode, we got to this new area, the Forest Haven, which is in stark contrast to Dragon Roost Island. Instead of having magma, it has forests and trees and stuff. That's why it's called the Forest Haven. Anyway, a little thing over here, this little sparkling ball of light that you'll find in this corner is the Forest Firefly. If you have an empty bottle, in this case it was one we got from the submarine, which was in the same quadrant as Bomb Island, you can capture it. And it'll come in handy for a side quest that we're going to continue later on. We actually started it a while back with Lenzo. So what you're doing right now is making use of these objects called Baba Buds. Basically how they work is you just kind of like tilt the control stick to step inside them, and then after a short period of time you're launched upwards. And you'll be launched in any specific direction that you tilt the control stick in. If you don't tilt the control stick in any direction, then when the bud shoots you out, you'll land right back inside, so you don't have to worry about doing it perfectly every time. You can take your time with these. They're not really found that frequently throughout the game, just pretty much in this quadrant, really. And another one, but that's it. Because later on you find other ways to spring upwards. And we have a new item here, the Deku Leaf. The interesting thing about this item is you don't just get the item, but it also gives you your magic meter. It runs out when you use it to do certain things like fly around. It's the little green thing that just appeared under our hearts. Yeah, he's telling us to go over there, but I don't want to go there. We've got other stuff to do here first. So let's equip it. We don't really need the Forest Firefly. We also don't want to release it by mistake. So as you can see, you pretty much just use the Deku Leaf to parasail around. And yeah, it makes your magic meter run out, so you can replenish that magic if you cut grass and find little magic totems, I guess. It's really hard to describe them, but you'll notice what they are because we're probably going to run into a lot of them on our way. Pretty much doing whatever we do. So we gotta get down to that island right there. So how we're gonna do that is use the wind's Requiem and change the direction of the wind so that it blows down to that little island. Yeah, the Forest Haven is kind of unique in that it has a main island, but also has these kind of like little smaller islands surrounding it. All in the same quadrant though. It's all part of the Forest Haven. So we just gotta carefully aim so that we can land. You see where our shadow is vaguely, we can land it right on the island. Yeah, okay, we took a little bit of damage, not that that matters at all. Especially when we're getting as many hearts as we are at this point in the game. So here you have to use one of the Hayoi pairs, and the seagull has to fly up to this switch here. Maybe there are other ways of doing it, but this is the only way that I've found that works. There are also some interesting little like vacant ledges around here that I've tried to get to. Maybe it's only possible to get to them with Action Replay. They're kind of the ones that are slightly visible behind that guy's head. Not the waterfall, because that's where you appear, first off. So yeah, that's what you do with a highway pair, basically. And it just opens up this vault, now that we hit the switch. But we won't be doing anything in there for a very long time, so I'm just going to cut back to the interior. Alright, we are back where we found the Deku Leaf, and I'm jumping off that ledge to get back up to the area where we sailed to hit that switch with a pair. Only this time, we are going to jump in this bud instead. The helpful thing about Baba Buds is that they actually replenish your magic every time you step into them. So if you want to recover magic quickly, you can just basically get shot out of a Baba Bud multiple times until your magic meter is full again. So there's the highest possible ledge in the Forest Haven interior, which is really quite huge when you think about it. Yeah, it's really tall. Leads you to the highest branch, kind of overlooking the sea from here. So there should be another Smile Island, yeah, right out there, that we gotta parasail to using our Deku Leaf. As usual, you're gonna want to use the wind's Requiem to change the wind's direction in order to get there successfully. Otherwise, the breeze won't quite be in your favor, and you'll have a very hard time getting where you need to go. So yes, as you probably could figure out by now, the wind's Requiem is a very crucial spell used to progress in the game, because it's used every time you need to go to a new destination with your sailboat, practically. I try to limit its uses, basically because the cutscene annoys me when I have to do it too many times. Always make sure to check that little blue chart in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. The transparent arrow shows where the winds are blowing. So you don't want to basically use it if you don't have to, because then you're like, oh crap, the wind was already blowing in that direction. I wasted like 10 seconds of my life doing a wind's Requiem when I didn't need to. But never mind all that, we have a treasure chart, as you can obviously see. I think this might actually be the first of them, numerically. Or is it? Maybe it's the third. Yeah, it's the third. Okay, never mind then. Well, that's that. Oh, and a little extra thing there. You might have noticed that I pulled out my Deku Leaf a second time right before I fell to get the treasure. That's because you usually just take damage after falling from very high height, but you can break that fall if you use your Deku Leaf. Come on, climb up on the barrel. It's not that hard. Thank you. Alright, well, now that Beetle saved us from drowning, which is unusual. Usually I remember him just letting me drown at this part. I guess this is like a first time for everything. Might as well just, like, stock up on the pair that we used to hit that switch earlier. And he drops us right back off, where we start. So I think I'll just, cut ahead. You know, you don't want to see me enter the interior again, I don't think. Wow, what are the chances of that? Okay, we're back inside the interior of the Forest Haven once more, and this time there's only really one more thing we need to do, which is finally do what the Deku Tree told us to do last episode and make our way to the Forbidden Woods. And that direction just happens to be where that giant grass arrow is pointing and that Korok told us to go earlier. So we'll launch ourselves in that direction and use our Deku Leaf to sail the rest of the way. There, excellent. And we can roll right out there, and this is the path that leads to the Forbidden Woods. Now, it's pretty obvious which one is the Forbidden Woods. Yeah, it's that big thorny thing right there that looks all evil and stuff. So, we gotta get to that, very inconspicuous island over there. Of course, you can't sail, directly to the Forbidden Woods. You gotta change the wind first to go to that little island, even though it looks so much lower. You'll see, there's an interesting pattern of getting there. And yeah, we should be able to get there, and then we'll probably just end the episode once we're there. So we'll direct the wind to the small island. Just needs to be altered slightly, but I think that even just changing it from like south to southwest can definitely do the job and make a world of difference. So this is going to take a lot of magic. We can probably cut up some of the grass there and get some more magic, though. Yeah, you'll see what the magic totems look like. Are we getting any? No. Oh, there's one. It was that brown thing that disappeared for a second. Is there any more? Yes. Yeah, there are small versions and then like these larger versions. So the small ones don't recover as much, whereas the larger versions recover more. Now what you gotta do here is you gotta adjust the wind again so that it goes to the Forbidden Woods. The direction for this should be northwest. Yeah, there we go. Only because it's so high up, you can't just get there if you sail in that direction, even with all this magic and the wind at your back. So as you've noticed, there's this little whirlwind that's just twisting around the small island. When it makes its rotation and it's facing the direction of the Forbidden Woods, you gotta jump off right before that happens. That way you can glide into the updraft, and it, well, drafts us upward, or whatever. Yeah, like that. And now we can go right to the ledge over there and enter the Forbidden Woods. These things in the way. Press the Deku Leaf button again, whichever one you have it equipped to, in midair, and you can knock them out of the way. And with that said... Oh, but it doesn't kill them. You can grapple golden feathers from them. And we'll start the Forbidden Woods next episode. See you then.